Welcome in to another edition of the Sick Podcast with Draft Vogel. I'm John Vogel, your host, and today we're joined by Dylan Laube, and a running back out of New Hampshire, really exciting player. He's kind of fitting a different kind of a role that we're seeing expand in the NFL, and we want to get into that with him. But first, Shane, back there behind the board as always. Let's hit it.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast with Draft Vogel.
With the first pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the first pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, with the first pick in the 2023 NFL Draft.
The sickest NFL Draft Show. It's gonna be sick.
And the sickest draft show is brought to you by DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the DraftKings code SICKSPORTS to get $200 instantly in bonus bets when you bet just $5 on any NFL bet. We got the Conference Championships, Super Bowl coming up. I'm sure there'll be Pro Bowl, flag football, parlays, and prop bets and all kinds of great stuff to get into there. We're running out of time. The NFL season is almost upon us, so get into the action now because the crown is yours. So let's go ahead and bring Dylan into this because Dylan, I've been excited to chat with you for a little while now, and I think it's because when we talked about a running back and, like just right before we came on, running back and how that role is sort of changing in all these different teams, you're kind of fitting this new running receiver role. And I think that was validated when you got your Senior Bowl invite straight off the bat. So I'm excited to have you. How are you doing, dude?
Having me. I'm good, man. I'm excited to be here. So, you know what? It's going to be a fun little podcast. So I'm excited. So let's get rolling.
Absolutely. And so Gam, he's not here with us. Justin Gamble, one of the co-hosts.
Okay.
He likes to have this little thing where he's like, hey, this is the chillest interview that you're going to have before the draft. So just kick back, relax. If you have a beer,
Perfect.
Crack it, smoke them. If you got them, let's go. Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
I want to talk about you and your career a little bit. So why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got started into football and, ultimately how you ended up in New Hampshire.
Yeah. So started when I was 5. I actually played in this little peewee league. It was 6 through 8. And it's funny because my dad was the coach and he kind of like forced me into it. And if you ever see my dad, he's this big jack dude that looked exactly like Vin Diesel. And it's so funny because like he made sure I stayed with it because I hated it. I had like every pad possible from forearm pads, I had gloves, I had extra knee pads. Like it was just, I hated it. And finally, when I was 6, I switched to running back. He gave me number 40, and we wear the Buccaneers. And he was like, you know what? You're going to be Mike Allstott. And ever since then, I love the sport. It's actually funny because when I turned 7, I don't know why. I don't know how it came up. He gave me a neck roll. And I wore a neck roll all my life since probably till 7 till like 17. So my senior year of high school, I finally took it off. It's funny too because like if you see pictures of me when I was like young, I looked ridiculous. But yeah, so
you're not a fan of the neck roll anymore. Okay.
Hey, listen. I tried to bring it back at school, but everyone said no. So I was like, you know what, it's fine. I'll just keep it off because I looked ridiculous.
You rode it for 3 years. That's saying something about
right.
So,
Yeah. So, but yeah. So I played all my life. I think I was pretty good at it. I loved playing running back. I love scoring touchdowns. When I got to high school, it's when everything kind of changed. I was a big lacrosse player, especially coming from Long Island. There wasn't much attention, especially on New York high school football. So I had to almost like adjust myself, as in like I almost used lacrosse as almost a way for me to get in contact with these other coaches. So like I would get offers from other schools and I'd be like, hey, any shot I could play like both sports? Like, yeah, sure. Like we'll try. But it never really worked out. Finally, I went to a bunch of like big time school prospect camps my junior year. and I realized they had no love for me whatsoever. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to flip the switch and kind of just go to the junior day camps of the teams that actually like truly are interested in me. So the one school was UNH, and they offered me on the spot. I had a great prospect day. It was funny too because all the coaches there too, they love me. I love them too. It's funny because most of the coaches there at my prospect day are still there today. So it's funny how we all kind of came full circle. But I realized like this was the school that I truly wanted to go to, and I realized coming from a small high school on Long Island and almost like a smaller back, this is probably going to be my best shot. So I stuck there. I think I had a great career at UNH. It was a fun time, and now I'm here. So yeah, it's cool.
So when you got that Senior Bowl invite, what was your first reaction?
Oh, well, it's funny because in the summer I was on the prospect list to go to
the watch list. Yep.
And I was like, okay, like I have a shot. And then after my Central Michigan game, when Jim Nagy actually posted me on his Twitter, I was like, okay, like I might have a shot now. I might truly have a shot now. And kind of as time went on and on, I kind of got more in contact with Jim, and it was kind of like, okay, like I think I'm about to get this invite. And when I was talking with my agent and stuff, we kind of were like, hey, like you're about to get the invite. And I remember it was like, I think it was week 10 for me in my hotel. I think we were playing Monmouth, or I could have been earlier, but I was walking the hallways and there was a phone call, and it was my agent. I answered it. It was with me, my dad on the call, and he's like, hey, you just got the invite to the Senior Bowl. And I was like, holy, yeah. And
we cuss on here. Go ahead. You're fine.
It's anything, so I just wanted to make sure. But yeah, so I was like, holy shit, I actually got a invite to the Senior Bowl. So I think I accepted it like Monday after the game. So I mean, it was a true honor. I mean, now I'm gonna be able to play against the best of the best, and actually show myself and to show everyone like who I am.
I'm excited, dude. I'm gonna be down there next week. I guess it's this upcoming week now for us. So like, it's gonna be great, dude. You're gonna love it. Mobile's awesome. One of the things that I did want to ask you about is, you know, I heard that you had a stutter when you were growing up.
Yeah.
And
So
it's not really showing. You know, I think I have. You know, sometimes I kind of stumble over words too and stuff. But like, but I do want to hear you like talk about that and how. Because it sounds like you've really overcome that over your, your life up to this point.
Yeah. So I grew up with that. So I kind of grew up with that challenge like all my life. That's funny because my mom claims that I got it when I was playing with my neighborhood kids, and there was a kid with a stutter, and I was making fun of him. And she claims that because of karma, I actually got the stutter. And I was like, yeah, okay, Mom, sure. But no. No, it's definitely been a challenge, but once again, it's something that I embrace, and it's something that I don't really let affect me, because once again, like if you let something hold you back like that, especially like a challenge like a stutter, it changes who you are as a person. And I've always been someone like I love to talk. So if you ask any of my friends, like I talk the most, and that's just always like who I've been. And once again, like it's funny too because I don't really want to tell anyone that I have a stutter, but once again, like I don't really let it bother me too much because I don't think it's really like a big deal. But once again, like I've kind of once again embraced it with that too. And it's funny because in college, I probably took 5 or 6 public speaking courses, which I never meant to. But it
just happened.
To stand up and do a bunch of presentations, and you want to tell me I was shitting myself every single time. But you know what? Once again, I just embraced the role, and you know what? I got a couple A+ in there, but I think it was a little bit of like a pity grade for me. But you know what? I'll take it. No,
you're engaging, dude. So it's like Dylan, like just straight up, like you're engaging, and that's the most important thing about public speaking, right? When you get up in front of on a podium in front of people, you got to make everybody feel like you're talking to them, and that's why you've got that persona about you.
Yeah, and it's cool too because it's like all my friends like hate doing it too. I'm like, you guys hate it. I mean, for me, it's a mess for me. So like, but yeah, so it's kind of funny with that. But yeah, it's just something that I've kind of dealt with my whole life, and you know what? I've just embraced it. I mean, it's me. It's me. It's who I am. So
yeah, I think it's personally silly that we have those types of conversations and people are bullied or whatever about that kind of stuff. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's sad, man. It's life, man. It's life. It happens. So,
but yeah, no, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. There's a wise man. Actually, I think we were talking about him before the break. Mark Gorsak always tells me this. He says, "It's all just minutia, man. Don't pay attention to the minutia. It's water under the bridge."
I like that. I like that. Yeah.
He's got a lot of life lessons.
I agree.
He's a good guy to know. He's a good guy to know. So let's talk about your game a little bit, dude, because, I started it off with all the praise, and that might be the, talking to agents on the side kind of deal, getting into that and hyping you guys up and all that stuff. But the fact of the matter is there's a role that's opened up that fits your skill set perfectly across the NFL in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
What we call the running receiver. And that's where I've got you projected. I think, actually, let me make sure I'm getting this right before I say this. You're like one of two guys I've got going there that are projected as running receivers. And one of them isn't even playing on offense. He's not supposed to. He's going to be playing defensive back. So you've got a chance to stand out this week in Mobile. Yeah. But I want to talk about the skill set, and I want to talk about the different things. So first off, what is it about, Dylan that you think makes you such a great player?
I think, once again, you kind of hit it on the head there, as in like my versatility, especially as a back that could play receiver, running back, and also I'm a four-face special teams guy. So once again, like I like being on the field, and I think especially as a running back, knowing those X's and O's as a receiver can just help your game so much more. Because once again, as a running back, it's a lot of reactionary stuff. While like as a receiver, you got to read coverages, you got to read zone man, you got to read, because depending on the route, you got to sit short more. You have to stay inside, outside. So there's so much more in depth. And I think running back is not as in depth, but of course it still is. But now like learning the game as a receiver and as a running back helps your game so much more. So I'd say versatility is probably my biggest asset.
And I would imagine that playing in the slot, there's a lot of similar, route type things that you have to do from the slot as opposed to the backfield. Mm-hmm. A lot of slot stuff works up underneath with your route concepts and the different things that you're running, just like a running back, so in that sense. But the other thing that I kind of liked about your game that stood out to me, at least at a very high level, right, was your short burst.
Yep.
Short burst being that quick little acceleration. You get the ball in your hands, you turn it up. And I'm going to be really interested to see how you test, because we already know you're going to the combine. You got that invite already. Yes, so congrats on that too, dude. Like you killing, you living it.
Crazy,
Who's got it better than Dylan right now, man?
No one right now, man. Come on. Yeah, exactly.
So you've got the you've got the combine, so I'm going to be really interested to see how you test there. But I think that the short burst is what really stands out on tape, where you just pull away from guys off that initial acceleration that you get.
Yeah.
How are you able to use that to your advantage? And, I guess when you were discovering your skill set, how do you find those different things?
Yeah, 100%. And especially as a running back, you're kind of learn to like tempo in the hole and be super patient, especially in that hole, and then kind of have that burst at that second level. So once again, I've always worked myself on being like that tempo guy, and then almost like that short, quick burst, like what you were saying. It's funny too, because like my acceleration has always been like my best asset, and it's something that I've always used, and I've never really thought I was good until I kind of got college and kind of started myself kind of separating myself from everyone else. So it's pretty cool just like seeing that. And now, especially now, I'm training for the combine now. I can see myself as, hey, like my short burst is actually pretty dang good compared to those top guys. So yeah, it works.
I'm gonna be interested to see that 10-yard burst, man. I really am. I really am.
Yep.
I think I'm expecting a really good number there personally.
Yeah, I'm expecting. I mean, personally, that 4.4 range would be perfect for me. So that's what I've been shooting for. That's what I think I'll be able to hit. So we're gonna see, man. We're gonna find out.
And if y'all heard it here first, okay? We got it first.
Come on, exactly.
Straight from the horse's mouth. Let's do it.
Yep.
The other thing too that I liked about you was, I think that you're pretty darn good pass protector.
Yep.
One of the things that I like to do when I'm evaluating and I'm looking at smaller schools, FCS, Division II, Division III, going down into those levels, is I don't learn the numbers. I don't learn who's on this team. I just turn on the tape and I'll wait for somebody to pop. And you're one of those guys, like you said, you saw yourself separating. You pop as soon as you come on the tape comes on because you're the best athlete on the field. Yeah. So I guess as a pass protector, that's one of those underrated skills people don't pay a lot of attention to at the running back position. I'm going to give you a 3rd-round pick last year. There was a running back, Tajay Spears, when he was coming out of Tulane. You put on the tape of Tajay, and you'd watch him blow up linebackers and he's at 195 and they're at 240 and he's putting them on their ass. And that's why a 5'9", 195-pound running back went in the 3rd round last year.
Exactly.
So with you, I see a lot of the similarities in the sense of the skill set that you present and having the pass protecting ability. Is that something that you take pride in your skill set, being able that you're an effective pass protector?
Because once again, like as a running back, you're not just running the ball. You're also a receiver. You're also a lineman. You're also a special teams guy. So there's so much phases of the game that you have to learn as a running back. And that's what makes a running back such a special position. And I think pass protection, a lot of people forget that it is super important, especially in today's game, because now it's mostly a passing game. So once again, if you have a back that can be able to protect the ball, especially blocking wise, oh my God, that's a check on any NFL's team. And I think especially in college, my senior year, actually, we threw the ball a lot. So we had to learn, hey, we have to protect our QB max. So the biggest thing was, hey, especially I think every Tuesday, we had a bunch of drills where we did a bunch of pass pro stuff, 101 drills with the LBs. Jeez, I'm going to call. Jeez, come on.
Wanted man.
Yeah, right. But yeah, so I think we emphasize pass pro huge, especially at UNH. And I was always in line with the linemen too, with their calls and stuff. And we had to make sure that, hey, we can't mess up, because if we do, something's going to happen. Because one sack a game is huge in today's game. So we definitely embrace that role as, hey, we are gonna stick our faces in their chest and show them, hey, like, we aren't just a running back. So, yeah.
You showed it. That's why you're going to the Senior Bowl, man, from New Hampshire. That's not something that happens all the time. So,
yeah, right.
When you get to when you start to look at things that you enjoy to do while you're playing football.
Yeah, you're good. I'm just
What is your favorite assignment?
I think my favorite is something. Hey, let me just turn on the light real quick. It's getting dark.
You're good, dude. You're good.
Just now, all my dogs are barking. Jeez, I'm a mess. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry about that. So, can you repeat that question quick?
What's your favorite assignment? And if you're on the field, you can do anything. You get any play call comes in. What's your favorite assignment? What do you like to do the most?
I mean, I love to score a touchdown, so it's a home run play for me. So yeah. But to be honest, I love running the ball. It's gritty in the box. But once again, I've made my money on probably like that 21 personnel where there's 2 running backs in the game, and then I go out to the slot and just either run like a hash fade or like a go route if it's like man to man. And I mean, I've made my money on that play so many times, and I don't know, just something about that play where like I'm just like in the zone and I know it's coming to me, and I know like if I catch this ball, it's definitely going to be a huge play or a touchdown. So it's funny because like once when I'm in that zone, I just believe that I could do anything. And it's funny, that exact play is where like I feel like is my favorite play probably in my whole career, especially at New Hampshire. So I believe that's probably my like favorite assignment, just probably wise.
So motion out. So we got a flex. We're gonna put flex to the slot
Exactly.
and then run a fade. Okay.
And it's cool too, especially this year. Actually, in the spring, I was all slot because they believe that like me playing running back in the slot is gonna be huge asset to them, the team. So it was cool too because if it was man to man, I was running a hash fade, but if it was zone, I'd probably run like a curl or like a strong route. So it was always like I was always had to be in sync well with a QB.
So you go back to the Central Michigan game that I think we've alluded to a couple of times. 294 yards receiving. Yep. I think you had 12 rushing in that game too. Like you touched the ball a few times. Yeah. But yeah, that was the first thing that caught my attention. It was like, because everybody was talking about 294 yards receiving. I was like, he's a running back. And then you see that number next to it, and you're like, okay, no, now I have to watch the game. Was it just like? But when you go back to that game, what was it about that matchup in particular that you think you were able to exploit?
I think it was just our determination as a team, especially as a FCS team. We always have that one big game every single year, and we circled Central Michigan as like our big game. He's like, hey, if we want to be a championship team, we're going to have to beat Central Michigan, which of course we lost at the end. But once again, like we had no quit. We were not scared whatsoever. And I think our game plan going into that game was, hey, we can display ourselves in the pass game a lot. We believe that in the box, especially their backers and defensive linemen were pretty talented. And we believe that their back half was not weak, but they definitely not their best point. And I think we definitely showed that. So it was an overall crazy game. A lot of chaos in that game. It was back and forth. But in the end, they won. But still a sick game overall.
When you get up, and so going back to that fade route again real quick.
Yeah.
You get to the top of that break when you're about to start your fade. You have to get past that defender. What's your go-to little release move right there?
I would say one little jab step inside, and then because I'm tempoing into it, so I'm not full stride, and then I hit that jab step quick, and then I just hit the burners and just fly. And I think that's the biggest thing, what you were saying before, what was my short burst and my separation on guys. And I think it really surprises a lot of defenders just seeing that quick little burst from the top of the route, and they're like, oh, damn, he's actually pretty fast. So because once again, I mean, I've done probably the same move a bunch of times, and it's worked probably 99% of the time. So it's just
I'm gonna have to catch you after practice one of these days this week,
hey,
okay?
Come on,
because I want to try to press you. I want to press you. Let me do it.
Press me. Yeah, come on. It's funny too.
I want to see this. I want to see this in person. We should we'll film it. We'll put it up.
Hey, listen. This is coming from me. They're gonna put me in the slot one-on-ones for a couple days. So I mean, you'll definitely.
Oh, I'm expecting it. Yeah, but I want to press you. I want to see it. I want to see it. Like I want to see what that defender's doing. I want to be looking down and
live from you.
I want to be in that. Yeah, no, I'm saying press. I'm gonna press. Let me press you. I'll press you.
Okay, sure. Hey, if you want to.
And let's try this. I want to do this. Let's do this.
Bring the cleats, man. Bring the cleats. We'll play a little bit. Come on, let's go. We'll go.
Oh, yeah. Under Armour, bro. What are you?
we're a Nike school, so I mean I can't say
Okay.
anything else
Okay.
about that. So I'm not gonna say anything else about that. But for now, that's
Awesome, dude. So, hey, Dylan, last thing that I got for you
Yeah, of course.
is when you talk to NFL teams, you're going to be doing that all week at the Senior Bowl. You're going to have the opportunity to interview the entire week. You're at the Combine. You're going to have your pro day. You're probably going to come in for some private workouts as well. The 30 visits.
Yeah.
So when you talk with NFL teams, what is going to be your main focus on, and I guess not even focus is a good word. The best word would be, what are you trying to present about who Dylan is? What's an NFL team getting in Dylan?
Yeah. Once again, I think I've mentioned it before too. You're not just going to get a running back. You're also going to get a receiver. And also the biggest thing is, cause too, like it's a 53 man roster and only 40 something guys dress. So like, I think me being available in special teams, cause I've played special teams my whole life, from a punt returner, a kick returner, a gunner, jammer, from the number one on kickoff. Like I've done everything possible, and I think you're gonna get the most versatile player in the draft. And I think when you get me, I'm gonna work my ass off every single day. I mean, I know a lot of people say that, but I'm that guy that's always in the room first, and I'll leave last, man, because once again, I like to prove myself every single day, because once again, coming from a small school guy, man, I've had that chip on my shoulder since day one, man. So I mean, I'm ready to go, man. So
awesome.
Let's go.
Let's
go,
do
man.
it, Dylan. Let's do it. Let's get ready for the Senior Bowl. Let's get ready for Mobile. I appreciate you taking the time to jump on, dude, and it's been awesome.
I'll see you at Beats, okay?
No, you can't. No, you can't go there, bro. Like that. No. Hey, no. Shane, get us out of here.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast with Draft Vogel on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.